me here in the text that Habakkuk is having a fit. He's having a situation because he's trying to figure out what is God up to. Now, if you would wonder what the situation is all about and what the conversation is all about, you will find that here is God allowing a Babylonian nation to come in and inflict wrath and judgment upon Israel for their disobedience, for their wickedness, for their disobedience and for their wrongdoing before the sight of God. Here is God's chosen people. Here is the people that God brought out of Egypt. Here are the people that God took through the Red Sea. Here are the people that God brought into the promised land. He brought them through the wilderness, and here are God's beloved. Here is God's children going against him, disobeying his rules, his concepts, his law, and God is sick of it. He's tired. He's fed up with their foolishness. He said, I had enough. And so he says, you know what, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to take a wicked nation. I'm going to take the Babylonians. I'm going to take the Chaldeans. I'm going to bring them in and allow them to bring wrath upon them so that they will come back to me. And Habakkuk is having a problem because the logic of it doesn't make sense. I mean, I told you earlier that God, you can't understand God sometimes. I mean, his ways are just, they're not ours, and they're hard to comprehend. So he's saying, God, I know that your intentions are good. I know that what you're trying to do is honorable, and I know that you're God and you know what you're trying to do. But Father, this don't make no sense to me. I mean, why are you using a wicked nation to bring wrath upon your chosen? I mean, it would make more sense in my mind if I had any say so. I would take some angels, or I'll take another righteous nation and allow them to come in and bring justice on your people. But it don't make sense when you take somebody that's already wicked to do something that is righteous. I mean, it doesn't make sense when you take somebody that's wicked and use them to bring them back to you. I don't understand that, God. That doesn't make any sense to me. And so what Habakkuk is saying, God, you got to help me out. I'm not trying to get on your nerves, and I'm not trying to bother you. I know you got some other needs that you got to take care of, but God, you got to help me with this first, because I'm trying to figure out why would you do it this way? Doesn't that sound familiar? It sounds like some of us, don't it? We're asking God, why are you doing it this way? What is your reason, God? Just help me out so I can get some sleep at night. What are you doing? What are you up to? And so Habakkuk is saying, God, I need some help. I need some help because I'm going through in my mind and I'm trying to play this thing out, but it's not making any sense to me. And God says, Habakkuk, trust me. Just have faith in me. Habakkuk says, God, I'm trying. I'm doing my best to do that, but God, this is not making any sense to me. He says, Habakkuk, trust me. Trust me. And as you study the chapter, God has to now explain himself to Habakkuk, and he doesn't mind because he figures Habakkuk ain't going to stop asking God until he gets an answer. And so he says, Habakkuk, since you're so worried about what I'm up to, since you're so worried about what I'm trying to do, since you're so worried about how I'm going about this, let me tell you, I'm gonna break it down for you. He said, what I'm doing is allowing these people to come in and bring judgment on my people so that my people will return back to me. They will come back to me. But I know that in the end of the situation, at the end of it, that these people that I'm allowing to come in, I'm going to allow the same thing to happen to them. I know I'm allowing a wicked people to come in, but Habakkuk, that's the key. I'm allowing it to happen. See, some of y'all missed it. I said, I'm allowing it to happen. See, you got to understand, brothers and sisters, that's the answer to your situation. God allowed it to happen. Now when God allows something to happen, that's the place to shout. That's the place to go in. That's the place to really dance. Because you have to understand that when God allows something to happen, there's victory on the other side. When God allows you to go through your trouble, when God allows you to go through persecution, when God allows you to be scrutinized, when God allows you to be hated on, you got to understand that on the other side of this, God's gonna get the glory out of what I felt my help right there. I'm sorry. You got to understand, brothers and sisters, when God gets finished with it all, it's gonna come out to be a win-win situation. How is it gonna come out to be a win-win situation? First, my people are going to come back to me. And then second, the same ones I use to come in and bring justice on them, they're going to eventually get a taste of their own medicine. And I just stopped right there to tell about 5 people that some of you have been dealing with some enemies that are trying to attack you. Some of you have been dealing with some people that's trying to ruin your name. You've been dealing with folk that's been talking about you when they know that the favor of God is on you. But I came by here to tell you, if I be a man of God, that when it's all said and done with, God's gonna get the glory. And the same ones that try to crucify you, the same ones that try to put you in the grave, the same ones that said you wouldn't make it, the same ones that said it's all over for you, I'm gonna allow them to see me raise you up and put you in a high place. And when God promotes you, can't no devil in hell stop what God wants to do. I dare you to tell your neighbor, say, neighbor, you might as well move out my way. I'm going to a higher place now. It's a place of victory. It's a place of deliverance. It's a place of prosperity. It's a place of freedom. It's a place of wholeness. Tell somebody, say, I'm going higher. Yeah.